Hello and welcome to this episode of Mindset Matters, where we're looking at everything relating to matters of the mind. Now, in the previous episodes, I kind of proposed the question, is it possible to change your mindset? As that's the question that I get often, as somebody who works with people to help them to change their mindset. I often have conversations where people ask me, yes, but is it really possible to change your mind? And I said that it was a resounding yes, that it is possible. But today, I just wanted to kind of dig a little bit more deeper with that and talk to you about how important your subconscious programming is and how this is the critical key to your overall success. Now, if you've ever tried to make a change or achieve something but have struggled, or the results have been kind of very brief or short term, then that's probably because you haven't engaged the subconscious in the process of transformation. So to really make any permanent, long-lasting change, it's really important to align both your conscious and your subconscious mindset to ensure that they're on the same page. And to illustrate this, let's kind of look at how the mind works a little bit more deeper. I often use the analogy that you may have heard before, and I liken the mind to that of the iceberg. If we look at the iceberg from a cross-section and we see the tip above sea level, which is only the small part, the real powerful part is the bit underneath. So I liken the conscious mind, that's the logical, the rational, the kind of intelligent part of you. And that's the tip, that's the top part. But as I say, it's only about 10% of your overall mind power. So that's the part of you that can read a book, take on some new information, make a decision, know that you want to make a change, know that there's a goal that you want to go after. But sometimes that level alone isn't enough, because the powerful part underneath, the subconscious, makes up the other 90% of your overall mind power. And I know that's a very simplistic view, but if we use that, it's a really great way to illustrate how the mind works. So sometimes the subconscious is almost like the silent assassin that is getting in the way. It's the part that when we try to make changes, we feel that resistance. We find ourselves struggling, almost like it's kind of a bit of an uphill battle, that life is conspiring against us, that we're kind of getting in our own way, we're self-sabotaging, or we then end up kind of procrastinating, because our subconscious programming is kind of conditioned to run in a different way to how we now want it to run. So I've previously made the kind of comparison with technology, phones, computers, cars, TVs. If we look back 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, the phones, the computers that we were using then probably would be out of date for what we want them to do today. But with technology, we tend to update them. We tend to kind of get new ones, if you like, on a much more regular basis. However, with our mindset, we tend to leave it to chance, and we find ourselves sometimes that we're run into out-of-date programming or conditioning. And the subconscious mind doesn't have the ability to know whether it's right, wrong, good or bad, positive or negative. It just assumes, because that's what it's been programmed to do, that's what you want it to do. And then the subconscious has two primary functions: to protect us and to maintain us, to keep us as we are. Its default setting is to really look after us. So when, let's use an example of one that many clients have kind of used over the years, and that's one of when they're making some lifestyle changes, that they may decide at the weekend or on a Monday morning they're going to make some changes, maybe to their eating habits, maybe to their drinking habits. But then within a few hours, they find themselves reverting back to doing what they normally would do. And that's because consciously they've made that decision, but subconsciously that part of your mind is programmed to do something else. It's like the operating system. I said before, if you think of our mindset of being like that of a GPS system, it's a little bit like you've programmed, or the GPS system is programmed to go one place, but consciously you've decided you want to go somewhere else, but you're still following the instructions, which are going to take you in the other direction. So to really make a change, to really make long-lasting, permanent changes, we need to take on board the fact that there's the two elements that we need to kind of look at and align them to work for us. So if there is a change that you would like to make, if there's a goal that you would like to go after, and maybe you've struggled in the past, or it just hasn't quite come together, then consider the fact that it might be a great time to look at how you can program your subconscious and get the two parts of your mind working together rather than resisting against one another. So I just wanted you to take away from the fact that, it isn't your fault. If and it's a bugbear of mine when other professionals, and I know this might be popular amongst quite a few people, that they will often condemn certain people if they don't make the steps that they say they want to, and it's because the subconscious is often being overlooked. People don't invest in programs, people don't invest in coaching and being part of programs to not make progress. There's a reason why they're not making progress, and it's different for everybody. But often, if we can just address the mindset, if we could often just get the two parts of the mind working together and overcome any kind of out-of-date programming, limiting beliefs that are no longer valid, then it's going to make such a big difference. So firstly, know that it's possible. There are many things you can do to help support that subconscious programming. It just requires a little bit more effort, sometimes a bit of blood, sweat and tears, certainly a bit of persistence and consistency to make the change. And often because of that, we can do it for short bursts, but that's then when we find ourselves going back to doing what we've always done. The subconscious mind defaults back to its other condition, but it is absolutely possible. But the ways of doing that are useful and helpful at the conscious level anyway. Reading and watching content and material that are going to support the outcome that you want. Affirmations are another great way, but again, people often kind of rubbish affirmations or say they're kind of a bit of woo-woo or a bit mumbo jumbo. It's because affirmations on their own often aren't enough, or affirmations need to be utilized over a longer period of time for some people to make a significant change. But again, it's another way. There's options, there's choices. So affirmations, reading and watching content that's going to help align. Obviously, professional support. It's something that I do. So if you're at a point where you've tried and you've kind of not succeeded on your own, then reach out. Let me know. Maybe there's something we can do to help you to change your mindset, to help you to achieve the results that you want. There's self-talk's another one. There's lots of different ones. But self-talk's another great one. We often are our own kind of our inner voice is our own kind of worst critic. So if we kind of change our language and we kind of change the voice and the questions that we kind of ask ourselves, then that can make a difference as well. So yeah, professional support. As someone who is a mindset coach and has been a hypnotherapist for over 20 years, and that's the difference between the work that I do and many other kind of coaches that are out there, is that we're looking when we work together to make the changes at that subconscious level. So the two parts of your mind are working together, and we're harnessing the power of your own kind of intelligence with your subconscious programming to really kind of make it happen. So if you've got any questions about that, if you've been successful in making any changes to your subconscious programming, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories of what you've been able to achieve in your life. And like I say, if I can be of any help, drop me a message, and I very much look forward to hearing your personal stories and how I might be able to help you. So yeah, get in touch. And as always, if you've got any other questions about anything mindset related, drop me a message and I'll do my best to cover it in a future episode. But for now, have a fantastic day and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.